Well, Ottawa has now promised $252 million in aid for Canadian farmers and food processors. The money is earmarked to protect workers in processing plants and to help farmers offset costs and redistribute food. But it is far less than the $2.6 billion in aid that the industry was asking for. For a closer look at what's being offered and what is still needed is Mary Robinson. She's the president of the Canadian Federation of Agriculture. Thanks for coming on Your Morning.
Good morning, Emery.
$206 billion is the ask. Just over $250 million is what you got. The aid package, as we mentioned, covers buying personal protective equipment for meat processing plants, dealing with distribution issues in the supply chain, buying off excess, plus extra costs for beef and pork producers. What is not covered in this aid package that you need right now?
So Canadian agriculture is incredibly diverse, and there are many commodities within agriculture. If you think about the food that you buy in your grocery store, we have mushrooms, we have fruit and vegetable, we have ornamental like flowers and potting plants that you would buy for this time of year as you're getting your spring planting in line. And we have dairy, and there's a wide range of products that we grow, and that obviously comes from a wide range of farms. And this announcement that we're certainly pleased to see our Prime Minister speaking about agriculture and mentioning how important it is to Canada and to Canadians as we get through this pandemic. But this announcement was focused primarily on beef and pork, which those industries are very hurting right now. They are seeing a lot of constraints due to interruption in processing. And we certainly need to see these sectors, these commodities supported, but we have many other commodities that are hurting as well.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point that you bring up, that it is easier to see the immediate effects when you're looking at meat and beef and poultry. But when you're looking at things like crops, which maybe don't come to harvest for a couple of months, it's hard to feel the immediacy of them, but the need is right now.
Yeah, and Emery, in southern Ontario, I know a greenhouse grower right now who's trying to harvest red peppers, and they've been hit by COVID, so it's interrupted their ability to harvest. So they have greenhouses full of red peppers right now that they can't harvest and get to market. So we're looking at food waste, food loss. We're looking at major financial losses for that farm. And at the end of the day, this is probably going to show up on our grocery shelves as less variety available to shoppers as they go to the grocery store in these coming months, and most likely increased prices. So we have a lot of concerns about the more vulnerable people in society today, and people who are trying to make ends meet now and are struggling, and to think what's going to happen if we see increased costs at the grocery store.
Farming and agriculture is always about calculated risk, but tell us about some of the extra costs that farmers and food processors are facing.
Yeah, I saw a great tweet from Anita Stewart yesterday saying that farmers are eternally hopeful and risk takers, and we certainly know that. There's so many unknowns in agriculture. Every year we face it, whether it's markets, and we're at the whim of markets on prices, or it's weather and a killing frost or drought or rain. All of these challenges that make agriculture really quite a game to be in, if you will. So I think the challenges we're seeing, in addition with the COVID implications, with the shutdown of the restaurant business, more or less, it's really meant a shift in how food is packaged and where it goes to market. Here in Prince Edward Island, obviously, we grow a lot of potatoes that end up as French fries and other frozen potato products. And now we've seen quite a drop in restaurant business, so French fries aren't selling as much as they are. So there's that impact on sales, and there's also the impact of keeping people safe on farm. Regardless of where your workers come from, it's very important to keep them safe, and that's a challenge with a lot of expenses.
So many challenges in these months ahead. Mary Robinson, thanks for coming on Your Morning today.
Thank you, Emery.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.